It's another episode of BryanCroiDragon After Dark. Yeah. Oh, hello. Huh. I don't seem to recall the Yeti being tougher. Once upon a time, there was a horse that sat on an eagle. The end. Yeah, ta 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 ta. I die, Grunchling. Where is it? Oh. Got nothing. Where are they? Kiss my axe. What is this place? Welcome to the control center of your fate. Hello? Huh. Um, hmm. Huh. So I can just buy the stuff. Wait, where's Krampus? What's in this place? Now where on earth is the entrance to Krampus's lair? How did this happen? How did I lose it? Yeah, what did I get? There we go. Alright, Krampus. Where are you? No, there he is. Okay, we found him. Hum, 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 hum. Wonderful. Walking. Small flask. That's my friend Stephen.
scare the hell out of me, Brian?
It's pretty easy to do.
Huh?
It's pretty easy to do. Can
Do you
you?
need any more Yetis?
Um, I'm fine.
I
Not,
royally got reamed by one.
not Yeti.
Oh, there's one way back there.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, if I had a bit more of a budget and maybe a nice, good, big map of my own making, I'd probably do a Minecraft roleplay about Yetis.
Ah. I thought to give you some hot cocoa and shit like that to help,
Thank you.
since the armor is expensive.
Indeed.
And I just realized something, Brian.
What?
With the Sphax texture pack and the skins are bugged for me, so everyone looks like Alex.
Uh-huh.
If you look carefully, the skins aren't wearing bras.
You have a lot of free time on your hands, Steve.
I don't have a lot of free time on my hands.
Apparently you do to figure out the skins aren't wearing bras.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Minecraft porn in my time, and I don't want to see any more.
This is a this is a very strange conversation.
So I was talking about Roblox.
Oh, Steven, you know how I do the videos BryanCroiDragon After Dark?
Yeah.
You're on it right now.
Wait, you're recording right now?
Yes, it's not part of the Vox Adventure series, it's completely separate.
Ah, okay.
It's just a little downtime recording.
By the way, you need some more of this for the town. Packed ice.
Okay.
Because we are looking to get that racing rink. And packed ice won't melt.
Well, I do have lots of packed ice on
And did you
my
see
house.
what we were doing by the quarry?
No.
I
Oh,
paid 50,000 voxels.
Home Embassy 2.
We're putting down the redstone quarry.
Excellent.
Now that the release of monocrystals, the price of redstone skyrocketed.
What?
The price of redstone skyrocketed. It's up to about 2,500 for a stack of redstone.
I may just have to test that theory.
Well, the monocrystals require redstone and lapis, a stack apiece.
Stephen, what do I have a personal store of?
Redstone.
Exactly, and just what would testing that theory out require?
Well, it pretty much went the shop I go to for redstone in box and shop. It's 20 voxels per block of redstone. If I would have bought what all I needed, it would have been over 350,000 voxels.
Okay, just keep an eye on chat.
Hmm?
Just keep an eye on chat as I test out the theory of how much a stack of redstone would go for.
I'm just saying though, that redstone went up in price.
Ten voxels.
Well, then again, there's not a whole lot of people on as well. I might need to smack more chickens.
That's quite the euphemism. 10 voxels for a stack of redstone. But as you said, there's not
Supply and demand.
a lot of people
not a
on.
lot of people on. But this way I can make welding masks, and once I hit level 50 alchemist, I'll be making brushing lacquers.
Steven, are you aware of just what happened to my house at Raid Stream Town?
Yeah, someone broke a block or something.
No. They ransacked the entire thing.
Oh,
Meaning once I got it back, I had to replace it all with netherrack. Which, as we know, is as common as dirt. Actually, better make sure it's still there, and that my theory of no one would ever.
Brian, I'm gonna make you laugh.
Why?
Yeah, might want to teleport to me.
Hold.
This is funny as hell.
Hold on, I need to make sure my netherrack house wasn't ransacked. Yeah, it's still there.
Because these mobs haven't moved for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah. These mobs are in the same position when I took that screenshot. And look at that creeper on the ledge.
Wow.
Over here, Brian. Yeah. What I'm saying is we need a lot of cobblestone. You're a miner, so I can't serve you alcohol.
Would have taken you 2 minutes to come up with that joke.
I need to see your freaking Christmas skin because I'm still curious. Ooh. Okay, it's the same skin.
But with a Santa hat and green instead of white. Besides, it won't give you nightmares like my Halloween skin.
No, it's just I tried to take a little damage just so I could drink the hot cocoa, so I wasn't slowed,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up almost dying.
by the way, I've got over 1,000 videos on YouTube.
Hmm?
I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube.
Congrats. And once we do get the redstone quarry up and operational, I'm thinking of building, I don't know, like a mine shaft, but it's for carrying the ore. So, like, we get done with mining out the redstone quarry, and you can just place it somewhere, and the mine carts will come back and forth, pick it up, and drop it off.
That sounds good.
It's just going to be a long night with planning out blueprints. Because you want to see what took me 6 hours?
Sure.
You've probably already seen it, but yeah, it's in the smeltery area.
I don't know if I've already seen this.
Yeah, that's the thing that took me 6 hours with no blueprints.
I've been considering doing putting the board game of Clue into Minecraft.
What was that, Brian? Sorry.
I've been considering putting some board games into Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps try Clue, maybe Snakes and Ladders.
Yeah, it's called Shoots and Ladders here, but yeah,
And
I know what you mean.
if I get a copy of the board game of Jumanji, I could try that.
Well, Brian, don't you mean Eels and Escalators?
Eons and Escalators.
SpongeBob did a thing of Shoots and Ladders. It was Eels and Escalators.
I don't like SpongeBob. Ever since the killer SpongeBob dream.
Oh boy.
SpongeBob chasing me around with a knife. And it was like a guy in a SpongeBob suit, so that might not be any better. One of my weirdest dreams would perhaps have to be the one where I was on the receiving end of a groin attack from a shoe bill.
You want to know what's the weirdest dream I had, Brian?
What?
Went to bed sick with a frickin' fever of about 103. Dreamed of frickin' jalapenos dancing around doing the hula.
Yeah, that's tame to some of the strange dreams I've had.
It was still the strangest dream I've had, and everyone at frickin' Winnebago laughed at me.
Did you ever have a dream where things turned orange and suddenly a guy had no eyes?
Yeah.
You've had that dream.
Had something similar.
What did it
where everything started melting, like that one freaking olden painting with the clocks.
Steven, you didn't happen to lick a toad, did you?
What do you mean, looking up toad?
Lick a toad.
No, I didn't lick a toad. Or else I'd be riveted for your pleasure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm just trying to make you smile.
Yeah, let's see here. I made a Tumblr post about my weird dreams. Actually,
I'm gonna make you laugh.
yeah?
Why didn't the toilet paper roll across the road?
I don't know why.
It got stuck in the cracks.
Look upon the bored face of the audience.
What audience?
Me.
We're both small channels, man. There's not much of an audience there.
You've got more subscribers than I have.
I'm talking about the viewer count, the lifetime views.
Oh yes, here's the list of your dreams I put on my Tumblr. Number 1. Things turn orange, guy has no eyes. Number 2. Fighting an apatosaurus with a golf club.
Oh, wait, say that one again?
Fighting an apatosaurus with a golf club.
Who won?
I can't remember. Number 3. Earthworm Jim's head sliding back and forth like a pendulum to cut me to pieces. It was during that virus outbreak back in the mid-90s when me and a bunch of other kids were rushed to local hospitals. Probably the only dream on here that I can blame on illness. Granted, it could have also been the anesthesia. Number 4. Bouncing skeleton heads, the adventures of Luke Skywalker Power Hour, and something I cannot really remember. Number 5. Groin attack from a shoe bill. Number 7. Shrek's funeral.
Shrek's funeral?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Number 8. The Mummy Chapter. I have no idea where that name came from. The guy never even appeared in person. All I know is that he stole my cat for some reason. Actually, that's probably pretty creepy. You want me to continue?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Next up, friend turns into a bug. Do you ever have any of these, Steven?
I haven't had dreams of anyone turning into a bug.
What about the others?
Not really. There was a big old dream from my childhood, frickin' Pokemon. It was a frickin' ice bridge that's in frickin' Crash Bandicoot, and Jigglypuff fell off, and never had that dream again.
Okay, next up, gray dreams. Recurring dreams that I really don't like and I'm glad I do not have anymore. Just in a forest and everything is gray. The trees, the leaves, the ground, the sky, it was horrible. Ever have anything like that, Steven?
Nope. No dreams where everything is gray.
You're lucky. Next up, the Iron Giant gets his head split open and Two-Face walks out.
Nope, nothing like that.
And the last one, disembodied soccer ball-sized chameleon head that is still alive and in a ferret cage.
Nope.
We must.
I thought I was sick and twisted.
There's nothing sick and twisted about that.
Yes, sir. people with worse dream experiences than I have, and I've had some weird ones, but you take the cake.
Yeah, if you don't know what a shoe bill is, look it up, and then you'll know just why being on the
Is it like a shoehorn?
shoe horn.
Like a whip-like rod to help put your shoes on by
No,
the heel.
no, hold on. Just let me give you a picture.
And you had a dream that you got hit in the groin by a shoe bill?
Well, it wasn't exactly as much hit as
Oh.
bitten.
Ah. I haven't had any dreams about that. Fishing dreams are the worst for me.
What do those entail?
Hmm?
What do those entail?
Fishing rod breaking and sending a frickin' hook and lure into someone's eyeball.
Ew.
Why do you think I don't like fishing games or fishing in general anymore? I used to love it. Just like going up into frickin' Waterville and everything. People pulled pranks on me, especially with my uncle. Tugging on my damn fishing line when I wasn't looking and shooting my happy little butt out, apparently letting the fish get away when there was no fish on the hook.
I remember having nightmares of what I saw on Mystery Hunters Truth or Scare and that ghost show on Discovery Kids. What was it called? Ghost Investigators or some such thing.
Ghost hunters?
No, it was more like a kid's version of that.
Hmm.
A kid, early teens. Granted, they don't scare me now, but some of the stuff those documentaries covered could be pretty creepy.
I swear, some of those so-called ghost finder apps and everything are just made to creep people out.
Hey, Steven,
Hmm?
you ever hear of the elemental of Castle Lap?
Nope.
Oh, good. I learned about that thing in an episode of Truth or Scare, Castle Ghosts of Ireland. The previous ghosts, none of the ghosts in that episode scared me at all. Then that thing was covered and I ended up having nightmares because of it. Actually, I did a commentary on that episode with Minnie and Ash.
Hmm.
And they agreed with me that it was scary. Was scary? Good lord, it still is scary. I mean, Truth or Scare took footage from pre-existing documentaries to make them more acceptable for kids, but as an introduction to such documentaries.
Yeah.
But how they ever managed to get the elemental of Castle Lap?
By the way, Brian, have you ever watched like Scare Tactics or something?
No.
Ooh. Some of them are just evil. Like just on the show, just imagine getting a part-time job at a hospital or something for even front desk and a frickin' zombie torso just comes crawling through the frickin' back doors at ya.
Okay, Steven, promise me you won't scream or get scared or anything. Just try your best, and I'm sorry that I'm even looking up the picture and that.
Oh boy.
Because it was the image, it was a picture of how the castle, of how the elemental of Castle Lap looked in Castle Ghosts of the British Isles, and thus in that Thriller Scare episode. And please, I will delete it afterward. Please tell me that's still. Please tell me that I'm not the only one scared by that.
You're not, because if I would have seen that, that would have scared the hell out of me.
Okay, now that we've covered that, I will delete it.
There's nothing, Brian, there's nothing to be ashamed of being scared about. I'm scared of spiders. I'm still scared of snakes. I also have even more fears that I'm not necessarily proud of. Like, even scared of going homeless again. That's a big fear for me.
I don't even know what my fears are anymore. I mean, my fear of
At least you're not
birds.
scared of lava, you just don't like it.
My fear of birds is nearly non-existent now.
Some people are still afraid of birds.
It's not as much birds as it is a specific species of bird. Are you aware of the reputation Canada geese have? Up here, we say they will rip off your arm and suck out your soul.
That's a little creepy.
You know why we say that?
Why?
Because of how aggressive they are.
Some birds are majorly aggressive.
I mean, the aggression of one I saw wasn't. It was perfectly justified. A friend of mine nearly ran into it. But
Sorry, Brian, I'm just putting cobblestone, dirt, everything I can find in the chest. I'm not meaning to sound like I'm ignoring you.
it's fine. But Canada geese are just aggressive. In one of the stories I'm writing, named. I've actually. It actually features a Canada goose named Beelzebub. Do you get the reference?
Beelzebub is the general term for devil, isn't it?
Yep. Honestly, some of the cryptozoological and Supernatural stuff I watch or read about gets me on edge.
I mean, some of this, like, a couple of YouTube channels I follow, like Mr. Nightmare or stuff like that, does get me on edge, but after I calm down, I can frickin' sleep through it. Just,
I don't know.
I watch those types of YouTube videos on very rare occasion when I need a scare and not my roommate sneaking up behind me or pulling on my chair and freaking me out to holy hell. This way it's more of a controlled environment.
Stephen, you know I live with my mom, right?
Hmm?
You know I live with my mom, right?
Yes.
Well, the year of my dad's death, which was in January,
Hmm.
my mom was out. She was staying at a friend's for the night. I knew that. And so, for some reason, I got it in my head to binge watch Lost Tapes on YouTube. You know the show Lost Tapes, don't you? An Animal Planet horror show?
Not really, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos or like freaking clips of quote lost tapes. Like frickin' Squidward suicide or something. That was one, but it was
Well, they weren't
seriously,
actual
some of
Lost.
them just freak people out.
Well, it was called Lost Tapes because it's part of the found footage genre,
Ah, okay.
with the themes being the cryptozoological, the supernatural, and the extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know how many, I mean, obviously I went for 3 seasons, but I don't remember how many seasons I got through. I could have gotten through the first two and stopped early in the third. But the point is, when it came down to sleep, I was plagued by nightmares.
And don't that just suck?
The reason I don't do a commentary on an animal plant on a Lost Tapes episode is that Nirvana, they're cool. They'll just slap a copyright and let people watch it. I don't know about Animal Planet though. Don't know how they'll react to it. Might just block the thing in every country.
Yeah.
But also, I don't. The Wendigo episode was terrifying. I had nightmares of that monstrosity with a deer skull for a head coming at me for weeks. A deer skull for a head.
A deer skull for a head, that would freak anyone out.
Oh, and you do know what a Wendigo is capable of doing, don't you?
Hmm?
You do know what a Wendigo can do, don't you?
A Wendigo?
Yes.
Not really.
According to folklore, it can go through, it can warp through time and space to get to its prey, meaning there's no escape.
That's creepy.
That is the ultimate horror villain.
Are you surprised that I knew the term for Beelzebubs?
Huh?
Beelzebub, or what you were saying? Because Tenacious D called the devil Beelzebub.
Beelzebub. I'm quite fond of having my dictionary app open when I'm writing, and having it specifically be on the thesaurus, so I know quite a few alternatives to some words.
Yeah, and those are always nice to have. Your water bucket should be done.
Honestly, when it comes to the cryptozoological documentaries about that, the cryptozoological, extraterrestrial, and supernatural,
And plus, it's probably nice to have a friend who understands what you're saying.
yeah, how did it start? Well, it started, I don't know, I think it might have been 5, maybe 6.
Hmm.
It was the night time. Me and my family were watching some TV, or rather, my dad was upstairs asleep, my mom was making a snack for herself. I was watching the Discovery Channel, and this time I didn't chicken out like when it was going into the tomb of Tutankhamun.
You don't want to disturb Tutankhamun.
I mean, the curse is a lot of hooey. I mean, there's a lot of people who live to a ripe old age who enter that tomb, so
Yeah, but still, when I believe it was during the DC trip and everything, we stopped by the Museum of Tut, and I was the only one that did not have any flash photography going on. I stayed by the rules and everything because I wanted to respect the dead.
well,
And that's how it should be. People need to respect the dead and let them rest.
that monster documentary introduced me to a lot of things. Bigfoot, the Chupacabra. It didn't really scare me, it interested me, but when I go to other...
Especially, someone literally told me that I can't really be Wiccan because I wasn't frickin' born in Salem, or I can't really have Norse blood or follow their traditions because I'm not in frickin' that region. I wasn't born there. So,
Screw that. A lot of people ended up getting adopted into Norse society and ended up uh, going native, as the dated term is.
a person pretty much told me flat out, and it's like, you are not Norse and you never will be because you weren't born here.
For that logic, I'm not Gaelic because I wasn't born in either Ireland or Scotland, but that doesn't change the fact that my...
That doesn't change your heritage, where your family came from, or your religious beliefs. I'm sorry to say this, Brian, but that biatch is a closed minded bitch who will never get into Valhalla with that talk. Just because I don't frickin' have a sword or an axe in my hands when I die does not mean that I will not get into Valhalla.
You know, I interpret Ragnarok a lot differently than some people do.
And that's what that woman needs to get through her head. But I
I,
just take it with a grain of salt. I blocked that bitch on Discord. I did not want to hear any more bullshit coming out of her mouth.
I interpret Ragnarok as the beginning of the end of the Viking Age, and that was the Battle of Clontarf in Ireland, where my people defeated the Norse at the Battle of Clontarf. Granted, I'm not as proud of that battle as I should be, due to the leader of the Irish side having been Brian Boru, who was
Yeah.
who was rival to the founder of my clan.
Or what the biggest hit was was my main heritage, the Belmonts. Just because I wasn't frickin' born in Romania, that bitch thinks I'm lying about my heritage.
Screw her, my people, my family was one of the dominant families in Ireland by the time of the Tudor conquest.
And as I said, I just blocked that.
Need to take a moment, you sound like you're choking
No,
up.
no. I'm trying to say this kind of like PG-13 related because that is what your channel is.
Well, PG technically, but being Canadian, it means something different down here since we don't have PG-13. It either ends up a PG-13 film either ends up PG or 14A.
14-year-olds advisory.
You've got to be over 14 to watch it.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying flat out that I blocked that bitch in a heartbeat. Because it's like, what she says doesn't really fucking matter. I am who I am. Nobody can tell me otherwise where I came from. No, I was gonna say the C word, which is fine in Australia because Queen Assassin is in Australia, and she takes that as a compliment.
Do you want an alternative? Witch, shrew, vixen, she-devil, hellcat, hellcat, harridan, termagant, virago, harpy.
She's a heretic.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not the first to interpret the Battle of Clontarf as the true Ragnarok. Robert E. Howard himself uh, made the same interpretation.
And Brian, do you want to know where Blau came from?
Where?
Well, we're Germany.
Germany?
So around the
Hmm.
Norse part of it. And on my grandmother's side, Keo came from Ireland.
What was her surname?
Surname. My grandmother was a Keo. My grandfather was a Blau.
Well, it certainly doesn't sound like it's any of the branches of the yoga Nachta.
Ooh, a couple of frickin' rare item crates around town that I completely forgot about. I wonder how much they're worth now. See if I can find that second one that I saw earlier.
You know, the sad thing about. I'm not sure if it's sad or if I just. I don't like to. Sometimes I do like to be scared, sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? But with the upgrading on the cryptozoological, supernatural, and extraterrestrial documentaries, some of them, you know, by upgrading, I mean moving on to ones for older audiences.
And Brian, that's how you spell Keo if you were
Yeah,
confused on it.
it's not one of the branches of the Yoga Nachta. As I was saying, moving on, some of the documentaries on the subject of the cryptozoological, extraterrestrial, and supernatural are somewhat horror movie-ish in their reenactments. And Stephen, you know me, I'm not much of a fan of the modern horror movie.
And horror movies anymore are just full of hot water. They're oversaturated, especially around Halloween.
Just give me something with a good literary pedigree.
Or be like our kind if anyone, I'm talking about our kind as in unboxed.
Hmm.
If people, let's say everyone called us by Nosferatu, that's pretty much saying that we all look alike. Like all black guys are the N word. We're not. But you get my point.
Yeah. You know what? I have a love-hate relationship with that film Nosferatu.
Why do you have a love hate relationship with it?
On the one hand, it did a really good job of adapting a story without the consent of Bram Stoker's widow and surviving complete complete destruction that was ordered of ordered by the court, because obviously it still exists. But on the other hand, it introduced that vampire being killed by sunlight mumbo jumbo, and thus here we are.
Yeah. Even though some of that is true, some vampiric beings do get hurt by sunlight, but it's blown way out of proportion.
Dracula was immune to sunlight. The only reason Orlok was killed by sunlight was because Murnau was realizing he was reaching the end of his script and hadn't thought of a way to kill him instead of just having Hutter, like Quincy Morris equivalent, kill him. Oh, and guess who was a number of characters were, well, not exactly a number, but Quincy Morris has no equivalent in it, so it would have just been Hutter.
And I'm working on getting a custom sprite made for a Link to the Past randomizer.
That's good.
I'm thinking of either Simon or Trevor Belmont.
I'm gonna get back to beating Castlevania 4.
Castlevania 4 can be a tough one.
I'm gonna get back to my SNES Classic.
And someone beat Castlevania 4 in like 15 minutes.
You know, sometimes I hate my Asperger's syndrome.
Well, you gotta go to bed soon? Well, oh crap, it's after midnight for you.
Oh, right, and I'm recording the winter event special tomorrow.
Yeah. Go get some sleep, man. Good night.
Night, Stephen.